So this week, I Know What You Did Last Summer was released on digital, and I've been kind of putting this review off for a while. I was super excited to watch this movie, and yeah, as we go through this review, you're going to see how excited I was in the end after I got to finish watching it. So, another requel, again, one that I was excited for. It's been almost 30 years since the original movie, and as has been done with the Halloween franchise, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Scream especially, we have this thing where we are creating a sequel for the modern era, but giving it the same name as the original, and that basically creates a requel. So we have that with I Know What You Did Last Summer. Not much has changed in the formula of the movie. We still have the same premise. We have a bunch of teenagers who go out and do something that causes a fatal accident. They decide not to do what's justly right, and they decide to cover up or run away and act like it never happened, only for that person or someone related to that person come back and kill them off one by one in revenge. It's also much like what they had in Scream as far as like a whodunit, they kind of repeat that process in the movie and have a lot of misleads to try to get you thrown off the case to try to figure out who the killer is or killers. And then ultimately there's a twist at the end, and that's basically the movie, the premise of the movie and series as a whole. So, what did I like about it? Because there's not very much that I liked. Obviously, I really enjoyed the returning of the OG characters. That would be Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. I did like the nostalgia behind their return. I think, it was kind of a no-brainer. I think people who enjoy horror movies, enjoyed the franchise, were kind of wondering, where's I Know What You Did Last Summer? Scream has had multiple sequels put out. Where is this franchise? So I was really glad to see it return. Other than that, specific to the new movie itself, I did like some of the new kills that the fisherman did. The spear kill that we see in the trailer, that whole sequence that played out, that was actually pretty cool. I did think it was really, grotesque and interesting with the two bodies that were strung up and hung like large fish or sharks. That was very, wow. And probably to me, one of the most memorable scenes from the movie. I mean, there's other ones too, but that's really all I really liked from the new movie. The OGs, the nostalgia, and some of the kills that the fisherman did. All right, let's get into the bulk of what this video is going to be about. The movie's garbage, okay? Let's just be real. The twist ending, guys. And I'm sorry, but by now you should know this is going to be a spoiler review, so if you have not seen the movie, I would add this to your watch later and come back. But otherwise, yeah, that twist ending, talk about twist, that was garbage. Having Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character, Ray, be one of the killers. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? No, 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 no. That's like a total slap in the face. No, like this toy pulled a Joker too, man. Like, it's just... I literally, I watched it and was just like, wow. I talk about feeling gutted. I felt gutted. I would never expect that to happen. This is playing off of the history of the first two movies. So obviously Julie and Ray's relationship has taken place, and you're telling me that their relationship was so bad it pushed Ray over the edge, and him living in Southport has just been so horrible, and whatever the mayor is trying to do, it made him become a killer. After what he went through in two movies, you're telling me he decides himself to become a killer. Knowing what it does to people. No. Come on. Really? Really? No. That's garbage. That's garbage. That's poor writing, either from people who have never watched the franchise or don't understand just what this franchise means to certain people, vis-a-vis me. And I'm sure I'm not alone. But if you think you're just going to be able to come up with a new movie and that everybody's like, oh yeah, I love this movie. Nah. Those that are saying this movie is good, they obviously have not watched the past ones, or they're not really into horror movies or slasher films, because they would all agree that this is garbage. So what should it have been? Now, as I said, much of what the movie was trying to do could stay the same, because nostalgia with the modern twist is really all that it's required to do, but just, do something new with a familiar story. I don't think that's very hard to do. The core premise could stay the same. As I said in the beginning, a group of high school or college kids during a night of partying or drinking cause a fatal accident that they cover up. Part of what made the originals fun, again, is the whodunit aspect and all the potential misleads that the fisherman could be someone either within the group. So of course the villain could either be one of them, or a friend of theirs, or someone that they know who is related to the person from whom the kill from the accident. It's just if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of stuff. We got some of that in the movie, but the surprise twist killed all the fun in the whodunit scenario. Because you're like, it's Ray? WTF, it's Ray? Come on. I mean, they really built up the 30 years later in the movie and still could have done that. They still could have done that just with the character still reaching out to Julie and also to Ray for help with figuring out how to handle the murders. I mean, they didn't have to still be together. They don't have to be together, but he didn't have to be the killer. Come on now. I think where the OG returned, I think where the OG's return could have been more interesting is that once they return to Southport and the killer or killers realize that the OGs have returned, I think it was a mistake that Ray was still in Southport. I think he should have left and they just all come back. It could have messed with them with the trappings in familiar places, and the kills have been similar to how victims died in the original. They kept pushing Sarah Michelle Gellar down our throats with these scenes of her, as a dream or, an apparition or whatever. But I mean, they totally missed an opportunity there. We saw her grave and stuff, but you could have reenacted some of the most famous scenes from the movies. Her hair being chopped off. We could have recreated that with the girl that was doing basically her in this movie. We could have recreated that. The famous chase scene from her family shop is so iconic with the franchise, and a lot of people know that of this movie. Aside from Sarah Mitchell, or aside from Jennifer Love Hewitt screaming around, but they could have replicated that with a modern twist with the Danica character. Why did we just do that? They also introduced something new that fans would have liked from this era, which is the true crime podcaster element, and they did nothing with it. I don't understand. That was completely wasted. I would have built up more with that. That could have been a good catalyst to the movie as far as why the killers, upset. They could have, just thinking this through on a high level, that podcaster could have been coming to a convention that was happening in Southport, and they could have been talking about the killer, or the, past killers or whatever, and that could have been going on to the same time that this accident had happened. And that could have been a good blueprint for the killer or killers to use, because maybe they didn't know about what happened with the fishermen. I mean, these are the whole point of the movie makes it a point to know that the current mayor and people in the town do not want people to know about what happened almost 30 years ago. So a lot of these kids don't know what happened. So what a perfect opportunity for this person to come into town to stir up trouble that these guys weren't expecting. I mean, come on. But you killed her right off the bat. So what was the whole point of that? It was wasted. Anyways, I just have in my note that it happens probably at the same time as the annual pageant, and maybe the killer plays into more of that, by killing people like they were in the same spots as the original movie. Again, feeding into the nostalgia factor. So ultimately, we could have been left with just the OGs and maybe 2 or 3 newbies, but 1 or 2 of them being the bad guys and the others battling it all out. But ultimately, the OGs would have been the victor, and maybe 1 of the newbies lives. I mean, that's how it should have been. I mean, this is easy stuff. Easy stuff. All right, what's next? Unfortunately, I hate to say this, I would put this franchise back on ice. But if we do get another movie, because we know how Hollywood is, if something does decent enough, they're going to make another one. I would expect it to be maybe another reboot, because I don't think this one did well enough. And I think they're going to maybe just start over with a new group of people, completely no OGs. The box office performance of this movie compared to the original movie was not good. The 2025 movie only grossed around $32 million domestic and $64 million total worldwide. While that does recoup the movie's estimated $18 million production budget and at least gives a modest return, it fails to match the original's $126 million worldwide total and the sequel's $84 million worldwide total. I am sure it will still do business on digital and streaming through Sony's deal with Netflix. I'm sure it'll blow up on Netflix. But I'm sure viewers and fans will be disappointed like I am in the movie once they see it. But at that point, their viewership will already be counted. I do also think it was a missed opportunity not to have Brandy involved in this movie. I think a lot of people wanted Carla to be in the movie, I myself being one of them. Brandy and Monica have a tour going on this year, guys, in December. It's actually happening right now. What perfect branding that would have been. She's already been on Jimmy Fallon with Monica. This movie was coming out. Y'all could have had her doing free promotion for the movie separate from that. I mean, come on. This is just simple stuff. Missed opportunities. So here, again, I'm gonna hit this home, but this movie feels like a slap in the face to fans of the franchise and wasted use of Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. I think if Sony is going to do another I Know What You Did Last Summer, they need to get rid of everyone involved behind the scenes of this one and bring back original people that made the movies great, like Kevin Williamson, and get back to basics. He's coming back from this for Scream 7 with Neve Campbell. There's reasons for that. The other one, I mean, it was okay, but you know, it's caused controversy. It didn't do as great as they hoped, so they're trying to get back to basics. Case in point. This should have been a slam dunk compared to requels like Scream and Halloween, but Sony definitely botched it on this one. So here's my final thoughts and score. If you couldn't tell how it's going now, here we go. After nearly 30 years to reimagine the franchise with new energy, Sony delivers a film that proves the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And then some. Unfortunately, this new entry feels like an insult to longtime fans and ultimately hangs itself in the process. So I give this movie 1 out of 5. I don't know, 1 out of 5 as I'm recording this. Freddie Prinze Jr., Jennifer Love Hewitt's, whatever I can find, Fisherman's, Hooks, whatever. Doesn't even matter. But 1 out of 5. I wouldn't waste my time seeing this movie. You know what? You know what I would do? If you're not following him already, go follow Dead Meat. When he makes a movie or a Dead Meat clip about it, just go watch that. That'll be even better. He'll give his spin on it, and you'll enjoy it a whole lot more than this movie. That's what I would do. Go follow Dead Meat James on YouTube. No, that's not paid promotion. That's just as a fan who watches him and has been watching him for years. Go follow him. Go wait for that to come out and just go see his reaction to it, and you'll be better off. Consider it like Cliff Notes, and you'll thank me later. If you have seen I Know What You Did Last Summer, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you agree with my review? Was I too harsh? Was I too harsh on the movie? I can take the criticism. Let me know. Otherwise, make sure you like the video. If you want more, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time on The Mashup.